high value information that will motivate and inspire you to make some good, healthy changes in your life. And we even give you some action items at the end of the podcast so you can do that. So you got to stick around to the end.
We always give you high value information, right?
We sure do.
Sometimes you just listen to me ramble. I'm Brandon.
Nonsense.
I'm Coach Brandon. If you are with us live on Facebook, give us a thumbs up. Tell us you're here. If you are not following us on Facebook, I appreciate you listening. That's awesome. But if you'd like to be part of the conversation, come on in, follow us on Facebook, check us out, and ask those questions so you can be part of the conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
So,
what are we talking about today?
Oh, we're talking about our origin story of the anti-gym.
Anti-gym.
What the heck is an anti-gym?
What's an anti-gym?
People ask us that all the time.
Yeah. So also, if you're not local to us, that at Contra Costa Fitness, our facility, we've kind of branded ourselves, or we got branded.
I was going to say, we're dubbed.
The anti-gym, and we really embrace that here. And we'll get into why that is and how that happened today. So we wanted to, kind of tell a personal story about the business, I guess, is what we're doing, or about what we do here. So I started a while ago now. When I first started.
In the way back times.
A while ago now, 10 years ago. Well, more than 10 years ago now, 15 years ago, let's say that. I didn't really realize what an impact training and coaching could have, my training and coaching could have on somebody, on someone's life. So, then I grew up an athlete. I spent a lot of time in gyms. I had a lot of coaches, and it was always just that, right? Like, it was all about performance. And then, it became, as I became an adult, it was more about like building muscle and body composition. Right. And it wasn't until like physical therapy school that I started really learning what kind of an impact I could have on people, like what kind of struggles people were, might be facing in their lives. Right?
Yep.
And so, not just physically, but like also emotionally and psychologically, what it's like to, be dealing with a body that doesn't really represent who you feel like you are, or the things you want to do.
Yep.
And then I in my time, running a gym at a facility as a therapist, learned a lot about the barriers, and the things that keep people from wanting to be part of a gym. And I learned in my time at the VA. So I, graduated school and figured out that I really wanted what I really wanted to do with physical therapy. It ended up not being sports medicine. I really found a lot of meaning in the rehabilitation and so, or not just sports rehab, but any rehab, like everyday rehab, or
knee replacements,
or significant,
surgeries,
people who like
normal
might not
people.
be able to walk again,
Right.
that kind of thing. And so, and then I worked at a really, a special place. I worked at the VA, where, rehabbing veterans and dealing with myriad different issues, and not just physical, but also psychological and emotional stuff, and learn, how triggering the gym can really be to someone, anyone, especially women. Yeah. Working with women at the VA was a really unique and special experience, and really opened my eyes to like how vulnerable a person really can be coming into a fitness space. And then going to the gym for myself.
How you feel about the gym now?
Then going to the gym became really frustrating. Like, it was really hard for me to be a member of a gym and just go there and do my thing, because I would see so much, poor training. Like, I hate to be this guy, but it is too easy to become a personal trainer. And that's a whole other thing.
Different talk.
Yeah, but what I I think I had the hardest time with was the lack of like heart. It was just a lot of like,
Yeah.
you know, people in there training people who didn't really care genuinely about the people they were working with, or at least understand
Right.
like, you know, how important their role was. And then everything on top of that, it was just like the toxic like industry standards and language of
Yep.
and messages of the fitness industry. Like it's gross out there.
A
It's
little bit
pretty
gross.
gross. And now it's kind of changing, and now it just feels disingenuous, right? Like it doesn't
For
feel
sure.
like real. So yeah, so meanwhile I'm, you know, working for the federal government. Things are getting more and more frustrating on that end of things, just
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, just being part of that system. And I'm moving toward, I made a move to in-home training because of the gap between the rehab world and the fitness
Right.
world.
That makes
Right.
sense.
So around that time, that's around when I started Contra Costa Fitness, and then I was doing in-home training and like outdoor groups, and then COVID happened.
I bet that was great for
It was
in-home
wonderful.
personal training.
Yeah, it was really awesome. That was a horrible experience because almost everyone I was working with was really in need. You know, I was
Mhm.
going to a lot of care homes. I was seeing a lot of people in their own homes who were like super. I mean, they were ill. You know,
I was
they
going
were
to say
very
people who are very
vulnerable.
vulnerable human beings to begin with, that during a pandemic,
Yeah,
having somebody come to your home is not an option.
and they needed help. And during COVID, you know, I lost several of those people, and it was a really tough time. But it really kind of drove home to me like the importance of what I do and how important this business can be
And
if
particularly
you
how
make
you
it
do
that
things.
way.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just kind of like, and then I had to really change how I did things, and we started doing online coaching, and we started looking at, you know, and then enter you into the business as a client.
Ta-da!
First as a client, and then just because you understood so much of why I was doing it, and you understood how important it was. That's why, as you know, why I invited you to be part of the business.
Such a good decision.
I know, fantastic decisions were made. Yeah, so I can't be mad, you know, about COVID. Like it changed a lot for me in this business. But yeah, the whole coaching role that started to happen,
Firmly
and
planted in the
emerge.
coaching world at that point.
Firmly planted, like, and it was good. Like I loved it.
Mhm.
I was really seeing like, you know, how important it was, and how needed it was. Right, just the isolation and the lack of community, and this is when I really understood, because like I'm an athlete. Like I'm okay being independent. Like I'll go out and do my thing. That is not how most people are.
No.
You know, and I really understood through COVID how important community is, and why communities really are vital to our health and wellness.
Mm-hmm. And then what happened?
Yeah, then what happened? Well,
the gym
you
happened.
were here. Yeah, the gym happened. I mean, we decided to open a facility, which was crazy.
Absolutely crazy.
It was nuts.
But, you know, like I never in a million years thought that I was going to be a gym goer, let alone a gym owner, right? A lot of the issues that you talked about earlier that you probably experienced with some of your veterans were issues I had with the gym and what most people have with the gym. You know, I'm worried about judgment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm worried about somebody looking at me and judging what I'm wearing, what I'm doing. I was worried about doing the exercises properly. You know, I'm a ballerina. So when I walk into a gym and I see all of this equipment, I'm like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I don't know how to use any of that. So is somebody looking at me going, she's really doing that wrong. But then I started to worry about creepy dudes, like who's hanging around, who's watching me while I work out. And believe it or not, I am super introverted. Nobody believes me, but it's true. If I don't know you, I'm really going to have a hard time striking up a conversation with you. So I feel really uncomfortable in an environment where I'm surrounded by people I don't know. And, you know, just standing in the middle of the gym, I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea if I'm doing things right, who's looking at me. It's just super uncomfortable, super vulnerable. I hate the gym. I never liked the gym.
Yeah, and I totally I undervalued those fears.
It's intimidating.
Right? And those,
it
is. Yeah, it's anxiety provoking. And I just I couldn't really relate to it until I started really working with it and understanding how much of a barrier it is. So when we decided to open, right, there was no question about what kind of place we wanted to be, right?
Correct.
We really wanted to address those barriers that I had encountered and that you had experienced, and
for sure
create a genuinely healthy home for people with coaches who recognized and appreciated that vulnerability and the struggle and how hard it can be to get into a place and start doing these things.
But also be picky about the people we let in here. So the people who are in here are also going to contribute to the community and support each other.
Yeah. I mean, there's long been a place for, people who are really comfortable in the fitness world. And that's great. I'm glad it's, it's there for them. That's fantastic. And they just don't tend to be attracted to our, our facility, our place in our community, because they want to be doing different stuff. But, and I think that's, what we've created, right? It's like everyone should have that place. Everyone should have a safe, judgment-free place to learn and practice their health and wellness. And so enter Sheena. So Sheena, I'm going to give you a shout out, Shorty. Sheena works for Special Olympics Northern California. She has a super important mission. And
one of the nicest people ever.
We're a big fan.
Big fans of Sheena.
Part of our family. And early on, before I think she even decided to come to the gym, we had a discussion about what this gym is about and our values. And she said something along the lines of so you guys really are leaning into this anti-gym role. And that's really exactly what this is. So
and the anti-gym was born.
Right.
It's a pretty proud thing to hear what some of our members, and not even just our members, but people who come just for a class, what they say about us. We had somebody who came to the gym for the first time a couple weeks ago, and she said, if I didn't do Tai Chi 5 nights a week, I'd definitely be at your gym. But it felt comfortable. It felt inviting. Everybody was very welcoming. That's what we want to create. But also, our workouts are fun. You're going to get a good workout no matter what, but you're going to enjoy the company around you that's motivating and supporting you to keep going. And we really, really strive to be that nurturing place without the woo-woo stuff, without all the unicorn parts and everything.
There's definitely a balance. It's funny. I was just talking to a friend last night about sort of walking that line of being a nurturing place and a very and functional and practical gym. But between that and being ultra precious, what I mean, and touchy feely, we hand out hugs, but we also we keep it pretty real here.
Yes.
And so it's it's a place where a first timer can come in and learn, right? But also someone who's been around can also challenge themselves, and that's why we are who we are. Right?
I do have to say, you made me think of a pretty awesome moment in class where we had a relatively new member get up off the floor, and she didn't tell us she had a hard time with that until she was in the middle of class. And she was so excited to get off the floor, and everybody around her was going, woohoo, you're doing it. It's just so, it's great. And meanwhile, I'm over here doing plank push-ups, and she's just super excited that she's getting off the ground, and we're doing a workout together. Right. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And that's the kind of thing that really drives us here. So, I think another thing that I wanted to just touch on quickly, and we already said, the importance of community, but community fixes a lot of issues, right?
It sure does.
It's, and I want to say it's been just as good for us
Oh,
here, right?
100%. Yeah.
For our family. But you know, community really makes it a lot easier to come to the gym when you want to see people. Like, you're not just there to bust your ass,
Right.
You're there to be part of something and see people. And you know, it's a different way of doing things, you know, and everyone there is just trying to be, you know, a little better than, you know, maybe they were, you know, yesterday. And they're there to lift other people up. But that's, you know, it's huge, and it is different. And it's not like a quick fix thing. It's like everyone's just trying to live their best lives.
Right.
And that's awesome.
And it's funny because you mentioned it in our podcast last week, Falling in Love with Fitness. I bet you could ask almost any one of our members if they love fitness. And I don't think any of them would be like, yes, I'm totally in love with fitness.
Right.
But they love coming here. They love doing the classes. They love seeing people that this is part of their life now. It's their community. It's part of who they are, coming here and being together and working out together and being the healthiest version that you can be together.
Yeah, that is wonderful. And it is unique.
And you're not going to find any of that at a normal gym. That's what makes us the anti-gym.
Yeah.
Is we have all the things you're not going to find if you walk into a normal chain gym with a bunch of equipment and nobody knows each other.
Right. Yeah. Just a place where you walk in and work out. And that's fine if that's your jam.
Totally.
Like, I did that for a long time. I just wanted something different. So yeah. Okay. So a whole episode about how awesome, we are.
Let me ask you something. Let's say I don't have the joy and the pleasure of living in the East Bay in California. Where the heck am I going to find my anti-gym? Like, how do I get to a place where I'm comfortable with where I'm going to work out?
Well, that is tough.
Help us out, Brandon. You're supposed to have all the answers.
It is really, really tough, though. I mean, it is. It's like, you know, it's out there. There, you know, I'm sure there are others. You know. So, yeah, I just want everyone to have their place, right? Like, to feel welcome no matter where they go.
Yeah.
Or where they are in their journey. Maybe not wherever you go necessarily. That's just not realistic.
Not realistic, Brandon.
But that would be wonderful.
Great hopes and dreams.
I would
not
like
realistic.
that. But it's not going to happen. But yeah, no matter where you are in your journey, right? You should have somewhere to go and be. And you know, maybe that's the traditional gym where you pop in your earbuds, you set up camp, you know, head down, do your thing and go home. But you know, if I'm going to be around people, you know, I want to know them.
Yeah.
And, you know, and we have to get to know people, right? Like, that requires a little, like, walking outside of your comfort zone. Right. And I know how scary that can be for the first time.
The introvert in me is cringing.
So there's I know. Yeah. Right. There's like kind of no way around that part of it. Like, I do want to challenge you to, like, get outside your comfort zone and find that place and walk in the door for the first time. And if it's not the right spot, walk right back out and find another, you know, and maybe it's an online community.
Could be.
But my sponsor has always said to me about, like, the program, right? I'm in AA. Totally open about that, but if you don't know, that's what I'm talking about. And my sponsor always says, like, create the fellowship you crave, right? And so that is exactly what we did here. You know, and because there's really no place like this place, we made it that way.
And I actually think about that quite often. You know, during COVID, I saw a lot of people form Facebook groups where you just post, hey, I did my workout today. What did you do? That's also community. That's also super important.
And that's what I'm getting at. Yeah. Like, find your people, create that space. I'm not saying go out and start a gym. You don't have to go start a gym.
It's a lot of work.
But yeah, you know, create that group, look for like-minded people, go to that happy place. Maybe it's, you know, kayaking, maybe it's hiking, you know, maybe it's just like you take your mat to the park and you do some exercise there. If that's something that you like to do, working out outdoors, whatever, wave your flag, you know, and, you know, raise your hand and show people what you're doing. And I know that can be vulnerable, but you know, it is the age of information, right? You can be out there, you can look for that stuff and you can find your place, if not create create your own place. So I wish I had like, a real concrete, like, well, go to like soandso.com and, but it's different for everyone. It's super subjective. This place is not for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
It's not.
There's a CrossFit gym 2 doors down, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's not my place, and
Nope.
they don't don't want to come here. That's fantastic. We all get along. It's all good. But yeah, there is. I really do believe there's a place out there for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you don't see it around you, raise your hand, wave your flag.
And you brought up a good point. If there's not a place that you found that feels like home and feels like it's your anti-gym, create that space, right? Maybe if you're going to the gym that you're currently going to and you see the same 3 people going to the gym at the time that you go, walk over. Hi, I'm Rebecca. I notice you're here a lot when I'm here. Working out alone is boring. Let's be friends.
Yeah.
Like, yes, it's a little bit of some effort. It's a little bit of work. But who are those people that you see all the time that look like they're just as lost, for lack of a better word, as you are, that don't have community, that don't have someone there with them? Or even better, find that friend of yours that wants to get back into fitness and ask them to come with you to the gym. Take them with you, have a friend with you, and build that connection with them.
Yeah.
Makes it so much more fun. And you can have your anti-gym with just 2 other people or 1 other person. You don't need to have a whole space full of your friends. Right. Just take someone with you and enjoy doing fitness and being healthy together.
Yeah, agreed. I think that's it. And I am just going to reiterate, like, I know it's vulnerable, but do that. You really, like, literally what I have learned here is that waving that flag could, in a pretty real way, save someone's life.
Totally.
All right. And I know that sounds super dramatic,
but it's true.
Like this, we live in an age where if we don't take care of ourselves, it's not good, and so you really can help somebody, help another person by just being you out there and waving that flag and showing people what you're doing. And you will probably be surprised, what you attract. In my case, totally changed my life. Same with you, I know.
Oh, totally changed my life.
So yeah, do that. All right. We're out of here. Thanks for listening to us talk about how awesome our place is. But we did feel like we wanted to share the story about how this came about.
Yeah. And if you have any questions, please reach out and ask us. If you're struggling to find your place, reach out and ask us for help and ask us for guidance. That's what we're here for, is to help you in whatever way possible, even if it's finding your own anti-gym in your own community.
Yep, 100%. You guys who are in our community, keep doing what you're doing.
We love you.
Yeah, we love you. Keep lifting each other up. Keep raising your hands if you could use a hand.
Mm-hmm.
Ask questions, please. We're really happy to answer those things. It really does. It makes our day. So don't hesitate to do that. And we hope to see you again soon. All right.
Bye, guys.
Love y'all.